It's Friday, August 2nd, 2019, and this is the Pro and Con Show. I'm your host, Michael James Ott. Thanks for coming to the show, watching the show. 15 to 20 minutes almost every day. Try to do it every day. And, try and encourage us to be better citizens, to talk about our differences and be open to the opposing views out there. Normally, I would go through different websites. They have different biases and try to point out where these sources of bias are coming from and the kind of techniques that the various information streams have in presenting their bias. But today, I'm not going to do that. I just want to talk about election reform, basically. So the question I have for you is, what do you do? When you know that you're in a particular position and things are not right and you should do something different, what do you do? Do you turn your back on the situation, walking through a park or something and someone's being mugged or raped or something? Do you turn your back on it, or do you do something? And for me, I feel like I have to do something. So back in January, I decided to do something that's kind of marginal in a lot of people's views. I'm offering to serve as President of the United States. Now, I'm offering to serve. You notice I didn't use the word running. Not running for office. I'm offering to serve. Because where we are now, the bad place that we're at is we have these political parties, and they're fairly well opposed, and certainly the leadership of the parties, the wealthy, powerful influencers that care nothing about us and care only about having their power and wielding it over a nation. They keep us, or keep certainly their parties polarized, and we end up and I've said this term many times. They would be king. So these people who run the parties, left and right, they would be king. Okay, and then they want to raise up candidates that they can have influence on. So they find people who would also be king, and then they leverage those what I perceive as weaknesses. Someone wanting to be king is a weakness. Pure and simple, especially when it comes to serving the people of this country. I don't care if you're a government employee, whether you're an elected official or appointed official or hired, if you are a government employee, you serve the public interest. You are a public servant. Public servant. President of the United States, House of Representatives, Senate, anywhere. Member of the cabinet, member of one of the departments that serve under the executive branch. All of this, you're public servants. And you should be serving the best interests of the public in general, and not the best interests of small groups and special interests. And certainly not the special interests of wealthy people who are basically paying you to do your job. Or not actually doing the job you should be doing, which is serving the public, but they're paying you to have influence so that you'll do what they want. And so how do we all fix all this? Well, the main source, if you ask yourself, if you look at, why, and in engineering, we say the 5 whys. You keep asking yourself, go down layer after layer after layer as to what is the fundamental cause for what's going on. In the end, it's the political parties. And we allow this to occur, you and I do. So there's 340 million people in this country. There's a few hundred that are running it. 340 million versus a few hundred. And guess what? The 340 million of us are letting this happen. I don't agree with that. That's why I've been doing this show. I'll continue to do this show, Pro and Con Show, encouraging everybody to work hard at being better citizens, to be more involved, because the 340, if you really want good government, if you want government for the people, it has to be of the people and by the people, and that means participation. And I'm not talking about voting. Voting is important, but it's beyond voting. It's understanding the issues and taking the time to understand them, and appreciating opposing views, and gathering information and taking the time to do that, to be good citizens, to try to understand things before passing judgment on them. And so where we are now is we have these political parties and the associated candidates, and all of it for those individuals who would be king. And what we need in the future, at a future state, is more of a jury duty kind of thing. So you find pools of potential candidates chosen randomly from the population of 340 million people. You choose certain constraints, just like they do for jury duty. Okay, you have to be so old, so on, blah, 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 blah. There's a list of attributes, but if you meet that list, then you go into the pool, and they know they need to choose, say, 50 people at random to get 12 to be seated on the jury. Well, we'd have to do whatever it is, 20 a state, I don't know, something, in order to make sure that we had an adequate pool to choose from. And then we would look through them in the normal way that you would look at candidates. So you got to find out information about them, education and work history, and maybe get some references, some people that know them, to state what kind of what kind of friend or neighbor or co-worker this person has been. If we really get sophisticated at some point, maybe there's some psychological testing and stuff that goes on, standardized testing that these people go through. But in the end, by using a candidate pool and then using the sieve of just looking at their information, we'll end up with a smaller pool of potential candidates for the various roles. And they'll be totally independent now of, of all the major influences that currently, are major sources of corruption, frankly, in our government. So there you have it. I have to say that, so what am I doing when I offer to serve as president? Well, I'm saying I would not be king. I have no interest in having the adulation of crowds, or to ride in fancy cars, or sit in a White House at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But somebody's got to do it, because for sure the general structure of our government, having an executive branch and a legislative branch and a judicial branch, this does seem to be a very strong and vibrant methodology and structure to government. But we need better players in those roles. And the way you get them is by getting rid of the political parties that have, been ruining our lives for so many years. So there are plenty of people like me, you know them, in your communities. These are volunteer firemen, first responders, nurses, certain lawyers, especially like public defendants or defenders, and some of the prosecuting attorneys and things like this. These people that are doing their jobs for the public good at little or no wage or salary, These are the people that, and you know that there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. We can depend on them to, pass through the screening and then, take on their assignments, their tasks in whatever it is that they're assigned in the government role with honor and dignity and integrity. So why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm trying to call attention to this is where we are and this is where we should be. And the question is, how do we get there? Because there's a considerable chasm right now. It's a big chasm. And the main one is that we've been allowing ourselves for decades now to be totally and completely controlled and influenced by these people that are running the political parties. It's just norm. It's tradition. And it's where our comfort is, even though it's causing all of our ills in our society. So my question to you is, how do we cross the chasm? How do you cross the chasm? Well, the only way to do it that I am aware of, because I'm sure that these people that have been, puppeteers for so long, they're going to resist. And so the puppets, it's you and me, we got to do something different. So I'm offering to serve you as president. Lincoln was known as the great emancipator. I'll be the great facilitator. Okay? I'll do everything I can to serve with integrity, with honor, with dignity, with the intent that every day I will do whatever's in the best interests of the vast majority of Americans. This is what I will do. As sure as there's a nose on your face, as sure as there's air on this planet to breathe, this is what I will do. I will serve. The question is, will you serve yourselves? So you'll have to get way more involved. You'll have to get in the street probably, have big demonstrations, where you basically get in the faces of the current puppeteers and tell them, we're not doing this anymore. We're doing something better, and your jobs are done. The time of the puppeteers and the political parties are over. And the time of the citizen and the citizen servant has come. All right, well, again, for Friday, August 2nd, this is the Pro and Con Show. My name is Michael James Ott, serving you 15 to 20 minutes every day, well, plus an hour of prep every day. Be better citizens. I hope I am successfully inspiring you to aspire to be better. Until tomorrow, when we do another 15 or 20 minutes, bye for now.